Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about the 3 chatting mistakes that cost you thousands on OnlyFans. So if you're getting subscribers on OnlyFans but you're not making the money that you think you should be making, your problem might not actually be the traffic. It could be your chatting, because getting someone to subscribe is literally just the first step. You've already done the hard bit. You've made the content. You've got them there from Instagram, from TikTok, from YouTube, or wherever you're promoting. They've clicked your link and they've actually paid to subscribe. But then I see creators completely waste the opportunity, and usually it's because of these 3 mistakes. So in this video I'm going to go through all 3 mistakes, and I'd like to add these aren't just like tiny little tweaks. These are mistakes that creators make that cost them thousands every single month. And mistake number 1 is treating every fan the same, and this is probably one of the biggest mistakes I see. Let's say a new subscriber comes in and immediately they're getting treated like every single other sub on the account. Same messages, same pay-per-views, same sales approach, same everything. But here's the thing, your subscribers aren't all the same. Because think about it, one person might sub and never spend a penny. Someone else could sub and spend $50. Or someone could sub and spend $5,000. But when a sub first comes through the door, you don't know which one they are yet. And that's the important thing to remember. Your job is not to immediately try and squeeze all the money out of them. Your job is simple, just literally figure them out. Who are they? Why did they subscribe? Where are they from? How old are they? What made them follow you? What content do they like? What are they into? Are they actually interested in talking to you? Have they bought content before? You basically need to learn about the person behind the subscription. And the better you understand them, the easier it is to give them an experience that feels personal. And the first conversation you have with a sub matters so much. And this is why I think that first conversation with the sub is massively underrated. Like, someone has literally just subscribed. That is the point they are most interested in you. And they've made that decision to spend money to come and see your page. And at this point, loads of creators are immediately trying to sell them something. They say like, hey babe, thanks for the sub, and immediately boom, pay-per-view. There's no conversation, there's no personality, there is nothing, just a pay-per-view. And that leaves them with no reason to feel a connection with you. And don't get me wrong, some subs do come in and they do just want to buy content, which is why it's important to learn what they want and what they're there for. But instead of doing this and messing everything up, literally just talk to them. Start off by asking something easy like where they're from. Give them something they can actually respond to, because every single answer they give you gives you information and leverage. And that information makes every convo in the future a lot easier. Another thing is just do not interrogate them too much, because there is another side to this. You don't want to be making it like a job interview. Like, don't just be like, oh hi, where are you from? And then they reply, how old are you? They reply, what's your name? They reply, why are you here? That's not natural. You can ask these questions, but make it come out in an actual natural conversation. And most importantly, remember everything they say. Use tools like on OF directly, you can have the notes bit and you can write things down. Remember all the important details about the sub. I'll give you an example. Imagine a sub tells you he's going on holiday next week, and then a week later you could say, how's Spain going? Like, are you having a good time? And that to them will feel personal and a lot different from just a generic message like, hey, how's your day been? The difference is the subscriber is going to feel remembered if you do that. And being remembered is a huge part of this. And as well, your spenders need different types of attention. And when you do identify your better customers, the communication with them needs to be different. And that's not me saying ignore the rest of the people there who aren't really spending. But somebody who keeps spending on you over and over clearly deserves a bit more from you than the other subs do. Your time has value. So learn who your subs are, learn who's engaging, learn who's buying, and learn what they like. And never treat a subscriber list like they're all identical, because it's as simple as it's not. That brings me on to mistake number 2, trying to sell in every message. This kills accounts. And the weird thing is creators tend to do this because they think it's going to make them more money, or that's what they're trying to do. But eventually it will have the opposite effect. Just imagine, like, flip it around. You subscribe to someone and every time their name appears in your inbox, you already know they're gonna ask you for money. You're gonna stop wanting to open their messages. You're gonna ghost them. There's zero excitement anymore. You can already predict it. There'll be another pay-per-view, another locked message, another you need to spend money. And when it gets to that point, you're not going to feel like you're talking to a creator. It's just going to feel like you're on some like email marketing list. And something important is chatting is not selling. And the way I look at chatting is pretty simple. Not every conversation needs to make a penny. Not every conversation needs to make money. Some conversations are useful for building that connection and the money will come later. That is a very important distinction, because sometimes having a 5 to 10 minute conversation with someone can be way more valuable than asking them for a $20 tip, especially if that person stays subscribed for months and months and months. And if they buy multiple pieces of content, they send tips and request customs and actually looks forward to talking to you. That's where the lifetime value becomes very important. So don't just think like, how much can I make from this person today? Instead, think, how valuable could this subscriber be in 3 months' time, or even 6 months, or even longer? I always say good chatting should always have peaks and valleys. So sometimes you're just talking, sometimes you're being playful, sometimes flirty, sometimes you're learning about them, sometimes they're learning about you, sometimes you're building anticipation, and yes, finally, sometimes you're selling. And that's what makes the selling feel natural. If every single thing is a sales pitch, it's not going to feel special at all for the sub. Like, think about normal human interaction, like a conversation. You wouldn't be like, hey, how's your day been? And then they're like, yeah, good. And you're like, give me £20. There's a whole journey between that initial how's your day and the selling part. And your OnlyFans conversation should be treated like everyday in-person conversations. And as well, I see a lot of creators panicking when subs aren't buying and their entire energy changes. And this is an issue. Like, if a sub doesn't buy something, don't just be like, do you want a discount? Or send another message, then another pay-per-view. Sometimes a sub just doesn't want that specific piece of content. Don't get me wrong, you can obviously offer a discount if they've been there for a while, or if you feel they deserve it. You don't want to be doing this every single time. It's going to make you look desperate. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad subscriber. Like, sometimes people genuinely can't afford things, sometimes people need to wait for payday, and sometimes they're just not interested in that moment. And it definitely doesn't mean you should destroy that relationship with the sub just for that one sale, because at the end of the day, there's going to be people who spend today, or even people who spend next week or in a month's time, or there will be those subs who don't spend a single penny beyond their subscription. And it's very important you understand the difference. Free conversation has a purpose. And when I say talk to subscribers without making them pay, I'm not saying just talk to everyone for free all the time. Obviously there is a line, it's still a business, and your time is very important and it does matter. But there is a massive difference between strategic relationship building and a sub who will genuinely never spend a penny ever. You also need to learn the balance between the two. And that kind of goes back to mistake number 1, where you need to know and learn your subscribers. Obviously, if someone's been subbed for 6 months, they've never spent a penny, you've tried to build a connection, you've tried to sell, nothing's working, obviously they're a time waster. You don't need to bother with them anymore. That's not me saying never speak to them. Like, time wasters can actually change their tune and suddenly start spending, but just don't spend too much time on these subs. And then mistake number 3, having no system. As your account grows, this will be the mistake that becomes the most expensive. You have no actual chatting system. Like, for example, when you have like 20 subs, you can probably remember everyone. But when you have hundreds or even thousands, it's impossible. And this is where a lot of accounts become really, really messy. Nobody knows who bought what, nobody remembers previous convos, good spenders get forgotten, people receive irrelevant offers, messages are missed, follow-ups don't happen, and money starts falling through the cracks. Subscriber notes are like a must. You have to have subscriber notes. And this is at an absolute minimum. I cannot stress this enough. I know a creator who, when they worked solo, so this was a big spender. I think he spent like 20K on her in like 6 months. And one day he became suspicious that she was working with a management, and she actually wasn't. This is the thing, this is a funny, ironic thing. It was still her replying to him, and he started questioning her, trying to test her. And he said, what's the name of my cat? And she, for the life of her, could not remember the name of his cat. And guess what? He left. He stopped trusting her, all because she didn't know the name of his cat, which is crazy, because obviously, if it was a management, it would be a different story, but it was actually the creator. And trust me, you do not want to see that happening to you. Like, keep note of stuff they've bought, what they're interested in, what they like, what they don't like. Important details about them, like their birthday, their age, like interests, hobbies, stuff you've spoken about. Follow-ups are very important as well. One of the biggest parts of chatting is the follow-up, and it does often get ignored. Creators are too busy focusing heavy on like sending stuff out, but not enough on what happens afterwards. If someone shows interest in something but then disappears, you need to follow up. If someone says they're interested in buying a custom but then they disappear, follow up. Someone says they're busy right now but they're free in 2 hours, follow up. Someone used to buy regularly and then they've disappeared, follow up. Check in with your subs, because there are so many conversations where money is literally just sat there waiting for you, but nobody follows them up. I know that's not me saying spam people, like there is a difference between following up and spamming. Like it does get to the point you do not want to be spamming, because there is a very big difference between following up with someone and being annoying. But if you're constantly relying on the subs coming to you first and coming back to you, there is a lot of money left on the table. And you do need to know your numbers, and I think a lot of creators do just treat this like just DMs. But in reality, it's actually a sales department. You need to understand what's happening. How much money are your chats generating? Which pay-per-views are performing? What type of content sells best? What pricing points work? How much is my average subscriber spend? How many subs are actually buying? What are your best customers spending? Which messages get good responses? Which messages don't get good responses? Because once you know these numbers, you can improve them. If you don't track anything, you're literally playing a guessing game, and nobody wants to be playing a guessing game, especially when it comes to your business. And if you do have chatters on your account, this matters even more. The whole experience for the subs needs to be consistent. There needs to be clear notes, clear boundaries, clear pricing, and clear expectations on how the fans are being spoken to. And there needs to be quality control, because just giving your page to chatters and just say, go make sales, that is not a chatting strategy. I hate to break it to you. You need to know what's being said. You need to review conversations. And this is not if you have a management team. This is if you like had a chatter, like someone helping you out or something. Obviously your management team would be the one overseeing this. You don't need to be doing this if you have an actual proper team in place. It's just if like, let's say your friend was doing some chatting for you, for example. And the most important thing, you need to make sure the chatters sound like you. Like for example, if you're a British girl and the chatter on your page has been like, hey y'all, no one in the UK says that. That's such an American thing. Yeah, you need to make sure that the chatters sound like you, they're not using words that you would never say, and it's consistent with your social media, especially if you do talking head verticals, because you're speaking to the camera on social media, and then if the chatting is just completely different, it's going to be really obvious. But yeah, obviously if they've subscribed to you, they're going to want you. And the bigger picture of all of this, if you're actually getting subs in and you're getting good traffic, but your revenue doesn't seem to be following that and growing at the same rate, don't automatically think you need more views on social media. Look at what happens after someone subscribes. Because yeah, like you could double your traffic tomorrow if you wanted to, but if the back end is terrible, it's not going to increase your revenue. It's not going to help. You're just sending twice as many people into the same broken system. That is why I look at OnlyFans as like a complete funnel. The social media gets attention, your profile converts that attention, OnlyFans converts them into a subscriber, and then your content, chatting, and retention determines the value of that subscriber. And you need all of those pieces working together. So just doing a bit of a recap. So mistake number 1, treating every subscriber the same. Learn who you're talking to, remember them, and learn who's valuable and who's not. Number 2, trying to sell in every conversation. Build the relationship, build the connection. Not every conversation needs to generate money immediately. And number 3, having no system. Track your subscribers, keep notes, and know your numbers. Make sure you fix these 3 things before assuming your problem is the traffic. Because sometimes it's not about having thousands more subscribers. You need to make a better experience for those subs you already have. And this is something I actually really want to talk more about on this channel, because I think most creators and a lot of creators do underestimate what happens after the subscription. Everyone's always asking me like, how do I get more views? How do I go viral? How do I get more subs? And don't get me wrong, those things do matter, they're separate issues. But getting those subs through the door is only doing half the job. But yeah, I really do hope you got some value from this video. If you did, make sure to like and drop a comment. Your feedback does matter to me. Let me know if you enjoyed it, if there's anything I could improve on, and most importantly as well, if there's any issues you have and you'd like me to do a video to cover it. I welcome any suggestions in the comments. If you have any questions as well and you want to talk to me, I will link my Telegram in the description of this video. But yeah, make sure to subscribe. I will be posting weekly, and I'll see you in the next one.